Welcome to
Probably
YellBro
going to talk
Road.
about how China's great. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Welcome to
I
my
Do your little
channel.
intro.
I
Go do your little intro.
Are we getting recorded? Is that real?
We are
He
now
is
recorded.
recording.
We are officially recording. Welcome to YellBro Road. I am Jordan, and today we're gonna do a little request video.
Nobody cares.
Shut up.
Sorry.
We do a little request video, talking about the AI bubble madness and why the stock market fell $2 trillion in just 5 hours. But first, don't forget to share, support, hopefully donate to all the links in the description box. Also, please check out the Discord link if you want to join that. We are in that Discord right now. All opinions are welcome. And obviously, this video I show you and anything else, I guess, that gets brought up or I'm told to look at will be linked in that same description box for you to look at on your own. If you don't want to hear us pausing the video or talking over it or sneezing or whatever, please check it out on your own. All right. Let's just go into this because I have no idea. Geopolitical economy report. This words I'd be just running away from. I'd be like, oh god, I want to watch this. But whatever. Here's Benny Norton. I remember him from his Gray Zone days. Was it called Gray Zone back then too? It probably was, right? When Ben Norton was floating around.
Yeah.
It was.
Okay. But I guess he's gonna give us some some economic news. The AI bubble madness. Here we go. Actually, let me make sure my volume's up enough. All right, let's do it.
The US stock market is in the largest bubble in history, and that bubble is being driven by development of artificial intelligence technology, AI. Were it not for this bubble, it's likely that the US economy would be in recession. Yet most of the US big tech corporations developing AI are not actually making money on AI. There's really only one company that's making a lot of money on AI, and that is nvidia. And that's because nvidia has a global monopoly, at least for right now, on the design of the most advanced chips, GPUs, that are used to develop AI. And nvidia's founder and CEO, Jensen Huang, has become a celebrity who's constantly celebrated in the financial press and portrayed as this great visionary, with memes even saying, not so jokingly, that NVIDIA is holding up the entire US economy or the global economy on its shoulders.
Well, it definitely holds up the frames when I play Apex. I think my computer volume. Heard echo, I apologize. All right, here we go.
This is how NVIDIA became the most valuable company on Earth. It was the first ever company to have a market capitalization of more than $4 trillion.
Whoa.
But as I'll show today, NVIDIA stock has been very volatile, and there have been crazy swings of hundreds of billions of dollars, with a B, hundreds of billions of dollars in rises and falls in just a few hours, with this crazy mania going on in the US stock market, which demonstrates how dangerous this bubble is and how it's not actually based on fundamentals. It's based on risky speculation and really gambling for a lot of so-called investors. They're really just gambling, thinking the number always will go up. Line must go up forever. But the problem with this is that all bubbles eventually pop. That's why they're called bubbles. And NVIDIA can only continue to make all of this money because other big tech companies are losing money buying chips from NVIDIA in order to develop AI. And eventually, when the bubble pops, NVIDIA will lose its customers and the entire scheme will collapse. And everyone knows this. The question is simply, how long can the bubble continue to inflate? I mean,
now, when it comes to NVIDIA, which I know more for like gaming and graphic cards and GPUs and all that shit, right? Right now, like if there's this thing that's gonna pop one day and they're gonna lose their AI business, they're still gonna be a filthy rich company because these guys, everyone has their fucking, GPUs, right? Everyone has their fucking GeForce and shit like that play games on PC, and like there's a lot of gamers. Yeah, so their fall from grace would only be a fall if they don't manage their money, right?
Unless they wanted to like, what was Trump saying? He wants to decentralize a lot of these like companies or whatever so that they can be built in America. In order to compete with that other big chip making company in
Intel.
Taiwan.
Oh,
No, TSMC.
okay.
The one that like I think produces most of them. I think like nvidia I think does like the more advanced stuff, but I think in general, like in terms of like chunk of the I guess
Physical
economy, or like
manufacturing.
who's
Yeah.
making manufacturing would be probably TSMC
Okay.
in Taiwan, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah.
Okay. Well, didn't Trump like purchase with the U.S. like on behalf of the U.S. government 20% of Intel, which is also a chip maker, right? Even though they're more so, I think, CPUs. I think is what
I think
Intel
I think
typically
they
does.
do. So they do, like, from my understanding, they do a lot of their like design work and stuff, like the way that they actually uh design the stuff. I think a lot of that happens in Silicon Valley and like Tel Aviv and stuff, and then they manufacture in China. So it's kind of like
Okay.
it's the foundry method where it's like kind of separated, where they're like conceptualizing things and then where they just build them.
Yeah, cheaper to make over here, but
Yeah.
we'll design it over here.
Yeah.
Okay, typical.
Yeah. So I don't know. There's just a lot of like moving parts, it seems, in terms of like the supply chain.
Yeah. I mean, going back to nvidia, I just guessing here is that they're gonna, with all this new business coming in, they're going to expand and expand, right? And then if this bubble thing happens, they'll just fire them and move on. They'll go back to making just gaming chips, whatever the fuck they do, right?
But wouldn't the bubble thing really affect mostly like the software end of things, where it's like a lot of these like AI generative things that are saying they can do all these crazy generative stuff, I guess. Doodah, diddle do, the trinkets, the digital trinkets. So, but I feel like if it pops, like, wouldn't it affect maybe like those people versus like the people just making the actual chips? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Well, but if they lose business because these guys can't purchase their fucking chips anymore, right? I would assume they just start downsizing. I guess. But it's almost like they're like a car company that also makes tires, but the tire industry falls a bit, but they still make cars. Like, you're still good. The core people there, right? The filthy rich guys will be fine, but
because they'll
menial
just
workers,
downsize.
exactly.
Because that's what they've been saying anyway. They're just going to downsize because they're cutting a lot of employees lately. So it's like, oh yeah, they're cutting employees because they don't have anybody buying shit. Hello. I mean, just like that would be the logical explanation, correct?
I would think so.
To a certain degree, yeah. Like in terms of how the quote unquote market would move. I'm not an economist.
Yeah. My main point, I just don't think NVIDIA's world would be ending if this AI bubble
they would
thing
just
goes
downsize.
in. Yeah, and they'd still be making their chips for other things, like just straight up. And they have more than just that. They have like fucking quasi consoles. I don't think anyone buys them, but they sell like their own version of laptops, and I would assume, like, I have a fucking and GeForce, whatever the fuck thing on my computer right now, as most gaming computers probably have.
Well, you're always gonna have to manufacture the thing, so like you'll be in business.
Yeah, they'll be in good business. That's what I'm saying. Like, they'll still be making plenty of money. But all right, let's continue with this. More of Benny Norton.
The fact that it's even a bubble is not controversial. Even the CEO of OpenAI, the leading US AI company, Sam Altman, has admitted that AI is in a bubble. So much of the US economy depends on capital expenditure by just 7 big tech corporations known as the Magnificent Seven, or the Mag 7.
Ew.
These are Amazon, Apple, Google, or Alphabet, Meta, which owns Facebook, Microsoft, NVIDIA, and Tesla. Together, these 7 companies have a larger market capitalization than the entire stock market in all of Europe or in China, which has 1.4 billion people and is the largest economy in the world when you measure China's GDP at purchasing power parity. In fact, as of the 17th of November, 2025, the Magnificent Seven big tech corporations made up more than 1/3 of the S&P 500. That is the main U.S. stock market index, which includes the 500 largest publicly listed companies. 35% of the S&P 500 is made up by just the Mag 7. And that figure has been growing in the past few years as this insane bubble has been inflating. Now, when people post memes on social media saying that the entire US economy depends on this AI bubble continuing to inflate and companies like nvidia, I mean, it's basically the truth. A Harvard University economist named Jason Furman, who was the top economic advisor to US President Barack Obama, found that investment in information processing equipment and software, which, is largely AI capital expenditure, made up 92% of US GDP growth in the first half of 2025. And were it not for all of that spending, primarily in AI capex, US GDP growth in the first half of the year would have been 0.1%, complete stagnation. This is why the AI bubble is such an important issue, because
It's dancing on the US's
bubble,
grave.
the US economy could be very well in a crisis right now, which is why the US government has been pouring resources into supporting these big tech corporations in Silicon Valley to prevent this unsustainable bubble from popping, which means that we see more and more crazy things happening, like a circular financing scheme in which big tech companies are all investing in each other to make it look like everyone is making money. But in reality, the same money is just circulating, going through these different companies, giving IOUs, promising that in the future they will pay the other company, but they haven't done so yet. The best example of this is OpenAI. OpenAI is not making
YellBro,
money. It's actually
YellBro.
losing a lot of money. Basically, nvidia is the only major company that's actually making money on AI. Of course, big tech companies like
they're
Microsoft
making
and Google.
physical things.
Yeah. Well, actually, AMD makes physical GPUs as well. That's another kind of famous company, and Intel.
Mm.
But
Yeah, that's true.
I would
But
think
nvidia,
NVIDIA is
I'm
the
just
biggest
saying,
one.
like, yeah, I would say in America, from here at least, yes. Aside
Those
from
are-
the TSMC.
Those are the two major computer companies in the world. They're American.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Intel, NVIDIA, AMD, when it comes to like PCs and functionality, are like the three biggest companies outside of
Yeah, but I
like,
wouldn't.
you know,
Yeah.
Microsoft software,
And that chips are made in
and
Taiwan.
Apple software, all that shit.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, I guess they're like a hardware company, right? They're not really like software. Am I wrong about this? NVIDIA?
Well,
They're more.
when you have hardware,
So
you have to have software with it, like drivers and shit
Well,
like that.
sure, but I just mean like
But
they
mostly
actually
physical, yeah.
manufacture. Yeah, they're just like, okay, so it's not.
They're
They're not like
hardware.
making. But they're not making. They're not doing machine learning stuff, and they're not doing. That's not part of their like.
No. They're just creating
Yeah.
the processing power for these AI things to be able
Yes.
to run on them.
I understand. Yes, I got that. Okay. So yeah, so it's going to be different, right? Than like, because that's a lot harder to do. That costs money. Like, it's not anyone can just be a manufacturer for that. So of course that's going to be thriving. I mean, just like even TSMC, their origins were like Texas University, the lithography from like the Netherlands, and all these other. I think it was like Philips. Philips. I'm sure everybody knows Philips, like electronics company, that was involved in.
Right
that was involved in creating TSMC. So like these things just don't happen out of nowhere. They're not grassroots. That's all.
I was a little worried for us master racers.
Mm.
Because we obviously rely on the hardware, and we have actually the gamers have a considerable political power by buying games that are using all those chips we just mentioned.
Mhm.
Intel, AMD, nvidia, and still a major part of the world.
And gamers don't fuck around, bro.
They don't. Well, the vote that really counts in the world. It's the wallet anyway.
And if Nvidia released like some GPU that sucked ass, the gamers would let them know about it, bro. And they'd end up lowering the prices. Like, all right, guys, leave us alone. All right, we're done. We're chill out. All right,
Well,
No,
I guess my point
I'm
was
a,
just
we'll
like
recall them.
you
Fine.
can't really
God.
you can't really compare OpenAI and nvidia. Like those are two entirely different.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's not really comparable. That's all I was saying. It's just more of like
Yeah.
those are like apples and
I-
oranges. I don't know.
we gamers already played the Mass Effect
Yeah.
through, which was a war with the AI, and all of us we know they will come to a war. I have even I don't know if you know Mass Effect. It's like an interactive movie. There are 3 games. You carry one
My
character
brother
through.
played that.
Have you?
My brother
Mm-mm.
did.
You did, OCB?
My brother did.
Your brother?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, you carry your character all through, and your choices you make will matter in the end. But some of us have made the wrong choices, had to start all over, and at the conclusion
Of
at the
horror.
end is that you have to destroy them. The Reapers, these giant AI things that kill all the organic life once in a while, 50,000 years. And sometimes I've asked AI what choices I should have made. And their responses are really disturbing.
Well, goddamn.
It doesn't look good.
I
Kill
have
them
not.
all. Kill them all.
I have not played Mass Effect, but yeah, your background's going crazy
No.
right now, James.
But AI,
Yeah, shut the fuck up, James.
but they'll probably search for analyzers.
Muting?
So they
No.
But yeah. Now here's the thing where I guess they could be intricately connected to like the larger economies, that people will start probably investing, like companies and individuals investing in Nvidia, and this bubble pops. Nvidia themselves and at the core of it will be fine, but all the people that invested in it because of its connection with AI, and if AI fucks up, it makes those Nvidia AI chips a lot less valuable, right?
Yeah.
So thus it could, and if all these companies are all investing in it, and they
Well,
like,
I think yeah.
you
Well,
know,
aren't they also investing in a lot of like the data centers and stuff? Since like there has to be a
Oh,
place
yeah.
housing all this.
Yeah. Maybe they just want
That's
like
what Jeffrey Yoss, the guy who, the poker philosophy guy, he talks a lot about moving his money to data centers. But I mean, I'm sure he invests in a bunch of stuff. But he was specifically talking about that and how like that's the future thing in terms of long term.
yeah, like I wonder if like they would actually be aiming for like actually in the world of gaming. Well, I guess PCs in general, to where your computer comes installed with the shit inside of its Nvidia chip, right? If you buy a graphics card, it's all this AI shit's already stored on it, to where it's like everyone's using it now.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's consuming
Yeah.
it now.
that's why
I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Yeah.
yeah,
It's embedded.
that's why you may find it crazy, but that's why I'm actually considering. I've sometimes been on the lookout for Russian CPUs.
Russian what?
Russian CPUs, because actually
Okay.
Russia is one of the few countries that make not Intel computers,
Mm-hmm.
because they have to take. It's not like, I mean, Intel make the best CPUs, but
A lot
still
of the
Russia
people designing, a lot of the
has a
electrical
history of
engineers
making their own.
designing that hardware in Israel are also Russian. RSFO. It's
Yeah,
interesting.
What'd you say?
Thing.
What did you call?
But
What did you
you're
call?
right. But you're right.
I almost called him K to the C. But no, I'm saying that a lot of the electrical
Whoa.
engineers are Russian as well, even in Israel. So like it's like a big like whether it's like just that Eastern Bloc is specializes in making these things. It seems.
Yep.
It seems.
Tell the
Well,
Russians to
just
stop
saying.
hacking
I
Call of
have
Duty.
I have 2 emails. I have one from Yandex, one from Gmail. So all I know is that the one is spied on by the Russians, the other by the English and the Americans. I'm well aware of it. I'm not. I know it.
No, it's just
Awesome.
interesting. I just find it interesting that they are very aware or very specialized in that area, in that field,
The Israelis,
in electrical engineering.
but a third of the Israelis are Russian.
Yeah, that's true. And Ukrainian, Russian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The largest immigration from Israel is actually to Russia. It's thousands every year.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. If I was an Israeli, I would also move out quickly.
There's your warning. All right, let's continue with this video. Here's more of Benny Norton.
They're making a lot of money from other services and products, but not from their actual AI research
Ben?
and their large language models. So what's happening is NVIDIA is making all of this money from these big tech companies that are buying chips from NVIDIA. So NVIDIA is using some of that money, first of all, to buy back its own shares to continue inflating the bubble. And NVIDIA is also investing in other companies like OpenAI, which is one of its main customers. And one of the big criticisms of the circular financing
It's
scheme
literally a snake
is
eating
a lot
its
of
own
people
tail.
are concerned that what NVIDIA is doing is trying to prop up its customers who are hemorrhaging money, and their purchases of NVIDIA chips are not sustainable in the medium to the long term. Again, the case study of this is OpenAI. Now, OpenAI is not a publicly listed company, so they don't disclose the same information as other publicly traded companies. However, even though OpenAI is private, one of its biggest investors is Microsoft, and Microsoft is a publicly listed company. So Microsoft has revealed that in just one quarter, OpenAI lost $12 billion. However, while OpenAI is hemorrhaging money, it's
Why you say
very
it like
far from being profitable. It owes $1.4 trillion in commitments it has made to other companies for chips from NVIDIA and for data centers, which are being built out by companies like Oracle. OpenAI doesn't actually have the money it needs to pay these other companies. Sam Altman, the CEO, claims that in a few years, OpenAI will magically become profitable. But a lot of people are looking at the data and saying these numbers don't add up. And eventually,
I mean, it actually sounds like a snake eating its own tail is a pretty good one. It also sounds like they're bailing water out of their boat and just throwing it into another boat, which also has to bail it out into another boat, which bails it out to another boat. It's just like almost like hot potato of mess. It's okay. I mean, I don't know if that reference is correct, but that's what it's sounding like. And let's be real. I understand they're giant companies and they're big tech guys and all this shit, but they're people at the end of the day. So they might just be okay with like, hey, we're gonna earn and earn and earn, and I'm gonna put money away and liquidate some of this stuff and earn and earn and earn, and then if the shit falls down, we're good. They're fucked. We're good though.
Yeah, and all the teachers' pensions are fucked, and all the retiring.
Yeah.
The retiring. The seniors, they're fucked. Yeah, people get super duper fucked, and but the people who started the whole scheme or are orchestrating the scheme get to walk out with the bag.
Yeah.
So
Well, Sam
Pretty
better.
standard, standard procedure,
Yeah.
standard operating procedure.
Sam better hope he doesn't become the Bernie Madoff of this, like the poster boy of you fucked up, right? And then he won't even have like probably around that point, if it's something bad like that, he's probably selling the company or whatever the fuck he's doing, and thus he doesn't even know the fucking technology anymore. He's like kind of on his ass and the poster boy of like, hey, you fucked up, you fucked us over, man. It's your fault. You know, all these other guys are jet skiing in the Caribbean, avoiding avoiding drone missiles. But all right, here we go.
eventually this scheme will fall apart and the bubble will burst. This is where nvidia comes in. Again, I'll go back to this meme, and as I said earlier, it's not that much of a joke to say that the US economy is being held up by this crazy bubble being driven largely by nvidia. Because as I've repeated here, nvidia is really the only major company involved in AI that's actually making money, because nvidia is selling the shovels in the new digital gold rush to the other AI companies that are losing money on developing large language models, LLMs, but they're buying chips from NVIDIA. And this is why people are so closely following what's happening at NVIDIA. And this is why on the 19th of November, NVIDIA released its earnings report for the third fiscal quarter. And it looked like it was a great report, at least superficially. Financial media outlets like the Wall Street Journal announced that NVIDIA's profits were soaring, soothing investor jitters over the AI boom, or the AI bubble, more specifically. In fact, when he announced this new earnings report, NVIDIA's CEO Jensen Huang criticized people who say that AI is in a big speculative bubble, and he said, "We see something very different," essentially arguing that it's not actually a bubble. Here's how Fortune magazine reported it. They said, Jensen Huang pours cold water on an AI bubble and says, NVIDIA is unlike any other accelerator in the boom. And yeah, maybe it is unlike any other accelerator, but that's pretty easy to say when all of the other companies are losing money and you're one of the very few that's actually making money. Then it can seem like things are much rosier than they actually are, at least on the surface. And this apparently super strong NVIDIA earnings report led to some really crazy unhinged responses on finance Twitter. And a US investor was ratioed after she boldly stated that she was raising her 2030 target on NVIDIA's market cap from $10 trillion to $20
He's from Taiwan too. I didn't realize that. The owner, the Jensen Huang.
Yeah.
He's from Taiwan as well, electrical engineer. I didn't realize he was from there. Anyway.
Okay.
All right. I know the company's based in America. It's just it's just interesting. So,
listen, Mr. Huang, I want more frames in my Apex games, right?
Jimmy Wong?
Oh. The only Wong that matters is the one that can up my frames per second.
Oh, how about the one that can up your win total? Oh.
You know, a lot of prominent, U.S. politicians are also from Taiwan. Grace Meng, I think from, a lot of them. It's like unnatural how many of them are from Taiwan. I think they're being potentially supported by the government or something like that. It's weird how many Taiwanese are in these high-level positions.
Well, the beef with China, right, is why we're friends with Taiwan. It's like
they may be offering them some type of power deal to
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I could believe it. I could definitely believe it.
All right. That's it.
Here we go.
Target on NVIDIA's market cap from $10 trillion to $20 trillion.
Ben, you gotta stop with the Dr. Evil shit, bro. Trillion. Billions with a B. It's like, we get it, man. We get it.
Target on NVIDIA's market cap from $10 trillion to $20 trillion. This is not satire. I saw a lot of people joking about this on Twitter. I first thought it was a joke, but no. This is a serious investor in the US, a finance industry professional, claiming that she has all the data and she can confidently show that by 2030, in just 5 years, NVIDIA's market cap will quintuple. It is currently $4 trillion, which is already insane. It's the most valuable country on earth. She's claiming that it will quintuple in 5 years to $20 trillion. Now, for context here, the IMF projects that the GDP of the United States will be $36.8 trillion in 2030. That is the value of all of the goods and services produced in the entire US economy with more than 340 million people, while some US financial analysts are claiming that Nvidia's market cap will be 20 trillion at the same time.
Mm.
Now, I will add a quick note
damn.
here acknowledging that some
Jensen
economists
Huang.
don't like
His net worth is apparently 180 billion. He's the 8th wealthiest individual in the world.
Well,
Whatever that means.
If this is the case, by 2030, he'll be the richest person in the world, right? According to,
Yeah.
not counting the Saudi fucking, they buy like pet tigers and shit, and
Oh.
their Ferraris drive
Yeah.
Ferraris and shit. Like, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
to compare GDP to market cap of companies because
Oh, and he
point
went to
out
Stanford.
correctly
Okay,
that
that makes
GDP
sense.
is a flow. It's not like the U.S.
Nick
has
Fuentes.
$37 trillion just
No, he
sitting
didn't.
around that it's going to use.
Just like the
GDP
hoodie.
is a flow of goods and services over a period of time, whereas market capitalization or wealth of someone is a stock. And the economist Mikhail Kalecki famously joked that economics is the science of confusing stocks with flows. So I don't want to be accused of confusing stocks and flows here, but I just want to illustrate how insane this AI bubble is and how otherwise very smart people are just losing their minds and thinking that the number will always go up. Line always go up. It can never go down. And NVIDIA can never lose money. It's going to continue growing at breakneck speed as we move into artificial general intelligence, AGI, and the machines take over and we live in a utopia. I mean, this is complete nonsense, but this is the narrative that's driving a lot of opinion
the Brave New World.
around AI. And I have to add another detail here from a geopolitical perspective, and I think it's shocking that no one's talking about this, which is the fact that China is currently pouring.
I'm sorry, just the image. Them holding that like it's a deity or it's a, like what would the word be? Like a relic? Like a like a spiritual relic or something, the way he's holding that thing. Just a fucking CPU.
Well,
come on,
apparently
guys.
they moved from Taiwan to Kentucky when he was very young. So his introduction to America was Kentucky, and then they moved to Oregon. And then he played table tennis, and then graduated high school really early. Okay, and he said he was bullied a lot and didn't have a lot of friends.
You don't say.
Understandable. Stop that!
Aw.
Don't be mean.
That
Don't
is
be mean.
Wikipedia?
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy, bro. How you not like call Wikipedia. Take this out, bro. You getting fucking bullied. It only
Said he
made me
was bullied
stronger.
because he had an accent.
Either way, he
So
holds
you're
that
telling me
for
is
season.
this, right, Jordan? The revenge? Revenge?
I mean, I'm not even thinking that with this guy because
Revenge?
gaming
I don't know.
brings like joy to people. So the thing that he invested his time in, like before AI was even around, right? Well, it was around, but not around like it is now.
But
He was
does he
doing
even
gaming
care
shit.
about gaming?
Is
Is he a gamer?
He's
I don't
making
think he's a gamer.
he's making gaming.
I know what it
games.
was, Jordan. Someone
Right?
threw
Who
a
is?
pie at him. It's the same thing with the rest of them.
No, wait. I don't think
Every
he's a
rich dude.
gamer.
Who is?
This guy? I mean, I would think there's a good chance he's played video games and
Who
enjoyed
we
video
talking about?
games.
What are we talking about?
This guy, Jensen.
Okay, yeah,
Wang.
he did. He used to play the Super Star Trek text-based game.
Super.
Yeah, he plays them fucking. He probably play like Civilization and fucking like, Dota and shit like that, like nerd games. He's probably played those shit.
I've played Civilization for 30 years.
Well, you're a nerd.
Yep.
He's playing a lot of games now, probably.
I'm sure this guy
Maybe
games.
different games.
Like actually, I'm sure he actually games. Like
Maybe.
they make
Yeah,
fucking
probably.
gaming fucking chips. Like that is like their
I can't-
main fucking business until this AI stuff, I guess.
I can't believe Civilization 2 is almost 30 years old.
Well, before we get 3, we need our Skyrim. Okay, Skyrim or
We have
Elder Scrolls
Civilization
6 needs to
now.
come up. Needs to come out.
Okay, yeah. Please continue with the video.
Bethesda, stop wasting our time, bro. Give us our fucking game.
Is Bethesda in Bethesda, Maryland?
Yes, and Josh will, I'm sure, will tell you that. Of why
Well,
he
they made
dick rides
Fallout
that
3.
company.
You should be ashamed of yourself for not knowing the history of your own state, Sebs.
Did they make that game that I like, James, the racing game, Midnight Club
Only
3
got
Dub Edition.
destroyed in.
No,
Bethesda
Yeah.
Did they
famous-
make Midnight Club 3?
Yeah.
no,
Yeah,
Get your
they,
money.
they make good games.
If they
That's the
didn't make
difference.
Midnight Club
They
3
make
Dub
good
Edition, I
games.
don't
Yeah.
care.
They're
I
famous
don't
for
care.
they're
I'm such a
famous
loser.
for Skyrim, Elder Scrolls, Fallout.
Midnight. What did you call it?
Midnight Club 3 Dub
It's
Edition.
Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition.
One of those
Okay.
San
games.
Diego, Detroit, Atlanta.
Yeah, one of those games that Blockbuster didn't care if you stole them. Like, all right,
You're
whatever.
uncultured. You're uncultured, and it shows. It's pretty pathetic, honestly. Especially
Anyways,
with you being black. Like, aren't you supposed to?
wow, the doxing is
cultured
real. He just
and stuff?
doxed the shit out of her
Hey,
with all this. Look at that.
Sebs, you should try
First
to
of all-
play. You should try Fallout New Vegas.
So
I'm
never mind that.
Hazel. Okay.
Oh, you're Hazel.
You should try New
Okay.
Vegas. It's
You're not
it's
black, I know.
it's still
Makes
it's still it's 14 years
I'm,
old.
I'm roasted Hazel. Well, no, I've never played any of those Bethesda games. What other games have they made
Fallout.
that I might know?
Fallout.
Fallout New Vegas
No.
is still.
Fallout? Jordan, pause it.
I don't know why.
Oh.
Whenever I go on Discord, there's someone who's playing Fallout New Vegas somewhere.
Yep.
Oh.
It better be.
That's cool.
That's
Well,
the
anyway,
best game
sorry.
of all time.
Yep.
Period.
Oh, you're trolling with that
You can
one.
move on with your video.
No, I'm
Sorry.
not.
Yeah, let's move on.
No, I am not.
Either way, this guy
That is
for
my
sure
favorite
games.
band.
Shut up. For sure, this guy games, and he's holding this whatever the fuck that is. I'm sure a fucking graphics card or whatever. He's like holding it like a. It's like like he probably feels that when he holds it up. Who knows?
My friends, I have the equation. Ta-da!
It's a light from heaven shines down on this piece of technology. All right, here we go.
Pouring resources into challenging
Bring up.
NVIDIA's monopoly. So the idea that NVIDIA will always have this moat, as investors say, this dominant position, basically a
know how Ben
monopoly,
loves China.
where it's the only company that can design
Isn't
the
he getting
most
his
advanced
ma-
cutting-edge
master's or
chips,
PhD there?
GPUs for AI. That idea
don't
is
know.
absurd because in the U.S. there are companies
sure he's doing some
already
sort of
challenging NVIDIA, like Google, and
academic.
especially in China, the government has prioritized challenging the U.S. dominance in cutting-edge chips. And
Yeah,
in
see-
China, it's not just one company that's challenging NVIDIA. You know, some people might know that Huawei, the major tech giant, is also developing cutting-edge chips and challenging NVIDIA. But there are many other companies, Alibaba, Baidu, and a bunch of others that you've never heard of. They're working in China right now as we speak to develop their
Like
own
Alibaba is
cutting-edge
basically what, like the
chips,
Google of China.
GPUs for AI models
Yeah, I'm sure it's
to
a great
take market
company.
share away from NVIDIA.
Yeah. Well, the stereotype of their products is like, oh,
Sorry.
they just buy like a U.S. product, scratch the serial number off of it, and call it their call it theirs. That's not saying that's what happens. I'm saying that's the stereotype when it comes to like Chinese products. And let's be honest,
Yeah.
when you say it does have
Hmm?
okay, well, with some things we want like something like really cheap, they'll just make like a knockoff version or like of the same thing. All right, that's the stereotype, and apparently it does happen in some places. But either way, it's like, I'm sorry, bro. When it comes to name brand, NVIDIA they'll just have it over whatever Chinese companies challenge it. Straight up.
Yeah, but plus the Chinese companies invest in American companies too. A lot of the money,
Exactly.
like there's a lot of money that gets invested into American companies from places like Alibaba.
I mean,
So
just don't be surprised.
they prop
man.
each other up. If one goes down, it's a domino effect.
Yeah. I can almost see it in the future. These guys there'll be YouTube videos like, okay, we're gonna do a product comparison. They're gonna show the Nvidia thing and the Huawei thing. Like, oh well, this one will save you more money, but it's not as good as this one, right? They'll do that shit, and it ends up
Well, you
like,
know what, all
kinda working out for both, I guess, in a way.
The rich
Well,
people in
what-
China like to hide their money in the U.S. They're not allowed
And
to have money.
not just the U.S., the Cayman Islands too. Just like the Tencent.
A
What's
lot
that
of
big
places
ass
do that.
company from China? You know what I'm talking about? Tencent, that huge
Yeah, yeah.
conglomerate
Yeah,
of
yeah, they own all
companies
the
from
gaming
China.
companies
Yeah,
too.
they're
That's-
based out of like their money is in like Cayman Islands and like other.
They
Like,
also
they're not
do
even-
all over the world.
They don't
They
even
buy-
reveal their finances. Go ahead.
They actually, I think they became majority owners. I think in France. It's possible you could look that up, or like Paris or something like that. the thing is that they're not allowed to own property in China, so they buy property somewhere else. They're not
Oh,
technically
okay,
allowed.
so real
Yeah.
estate.
They love the
Mm.
idea of owning land, but they're not allowed to own land in China.
Makes sense.
There's a lot
Yeah, they're
of
like
land in the U.S. owned, right? By
They own a
Chinese
lot.
people. Sometimes even I think the government doesn't. The government have some ownership of land to some degree.
Sebs is right.
Most of the
It's
land,
a
yeah, the
worldwide
federal
phenomenon.
land.
But U.S. is a good bet because it's a relatively safe place to park your money. You know what I mean? Versus like some of these other places that you know.
Oh,
what I
you
mean?
can park your money in different places that don't have like Switzerland. Maybe not as much now, but probably any of those islands where they have those like safe haven type things.
But U.S. is one of the safer places. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, they're parking money all over the world.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like remember we were talking about the like the data centers and these fucking giant server rooms and all that shit, and it was driving up prices for utilities of people living in the area. Is that the same case with China buying up like even land that's not even like well fertile? Like I've heard about the story about in Arizona where it's like desert looking, but they want to be able to do farming there. So what they do is they buy up all the fucking water from around the area to where it actually fucks over people that actually live there. I heard that. I've heard of that.
And that's when you're just kind of looking at the city officials and you're like, who's getting a payout for this?
Yeah.
Like who let this happen?
Yeah.
Because there's like inner, city or like municipality politics in between there where like you literally can talk to, like who's the alderman, right? Like who's the actual like where does the buck stop? So
yeah. Meanwhile,
that's when that has completely like I don't know what the fuck's going on over there, but
exactly.
there are a lot of places where that shit's like really fucked.
Meanwhile, the U.S. could
really
build these water systems to help out their own farmers if they wanted to, but fuck them. They're not on my team. They're not on my team. Do they have money? They don't. They're not on my team then. So like losers to me. Losers.
No, I can't blame them because the thing is that they're really held hostage by a lot of the other groups that have money that can affect their electoral process. It's got to be there has to be a trade. It's got to be transactional. So if the farmers are not investing in activists to help them, then they're going to get with the government and the activists that they deserve, and they're going to get fucked.
Well, usually people are just lied to and deceived. That's usually what happens.
Well, most people are not investing because they don't feel the losses up front. You know what I mean? But if the billionaire corporation loses their contract, they could lose billions up front. But people are like, oh, well, the water quality, someone else
point,
take care of it.
No, but at a certain point, Ed, it's like when you have people that are just kind of quite literally hoarding money to that degree, it's like, what the fuck? Like there has to be some sort of like it's just something's gonna break. I'm just saying.
It will, and that's the cycle of the empires that's happened over and over again.
Yeah. Because you can't have like that many people just like feeling fucked over. It's like what? Like what the hell?
But as someone yourself who's
What am I
actually
supposed to
seen
do?
what happens when society breaks down and all those things go haywire, you know how tragic that is. So, hopefully we could really fight to like prevent that kind of thing from happening here.
That's what I try to do.
Yeah.
Take care of your own psyche first.
But we need local control. That's just my opinion. But
oh, fair enough. But that's just going to turn into the thing you're already complaining about, most likely, because people didn't do the work to.
It's inevitable.
Really build a foundation of their own principles and morals and who they are
It's
as people in the first place.
It's the nature. It's the law of nature. This is how it works.
Not my nature.
Well, you can make up your own rules.
If you're aware that those are the laws of nature, that means you're already subverting them by even acknowledging that versus just being inside of it.
You're already interpreting them by acknowledging them.
It is man's nature to fight nature.
Well, as soon as you say that, can't you watch yourself do that to where it's not the same thing as just unconsciously doing something, right? But whatever. It's like, I'm not trying to go down a philosophy road here.
What's this video about?
Money! The AI bubble.
Yeah, NVIDIA.
Mainly
NVIDIA is
the AI
basically
bubble,
like making a shit ton of money and then they're investing their money on their companies that they need their product. And they're creating a huge bubble by eating their own tail, basically.
It's like a stock buyback.
Yeah. Big
Isn't
time.
this guy a shill for China though?
He's yeah, he is. Straight up.
Yeah.
Which is why I said that
Okay.
thing earlier.
Straight up.
Okay.
Be the CCP shill. Like
Yeah.
disclaimer.
Oh, this
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
Wait, so he's
Ben
he's
Norton.
he's trying to make it look good.
Absolutely.
I
He
suspect
only
that
praises
this,
China.
Yeah, I suspect that this
You'll
portion
see.
will showcase, like, see, look, China is actually making some really good chips out there. They're gonna
Uh,
be
Yeah.
real
And he's
good
talking about like
competition.
Alibaba and all that. And meanwhile, all these Chinese companies, they invest in American companies too. Anyway, it's just funny.
Bricks, bro. The fuck?
I have a really low hanging fruit video for you, Jordan.
Oh my god.
Just to piss you off.
I have a marathon
Is
video
James
that
here?
I'm probably gonna watch. Yes, that I'm probably gonna watch after this, but
Oh, okay.
after that point, yeah, I'll react to
Sure.
it.
Yeah, I have a really stupid video for you to watch.
Oh my god. All right, here we go. Here's more Ben.
One of your faces in it.
Oh,
Wait, they've
awesome.
done it a long time.
Oh my god, he's here.
Oh no!
Hey, I just asked
What do you
question,
want
did I
now,
talk to him?
Urkel, what do you want now?
Ruined my day, man.
That's who's the problem?
Before Carl Winslow / Uncle Phil kick you out of the house, what do you want?
I'm not here to say it in case you're wondering.
Oh my god. And I actually am recording right now, so you know.
I was just gonna check your recording.
Pie hole, bro.
That's why I asked.
Shut your pie
That's
hole.
why I asked during the wrong time.
Shut your pie hole and go back to being dizzy on PSVR, or the fuck the thing's called.
Oh yeah, that thing caused me to have motion sickness for a bit.
Good. Anyways, let's continue with this video.
All right, continue.
Here's more from Ben Norton.
It's completely absurd. This idea that NVIDIA will always have a moat, will always have this monopolistic control.
I'm so
and
annoyed.
that number will always go up, line always go up, and it will continue growing and becoming more and more valuable and eventually hit
if they're built
$20
into
trillion
every
in
Yo, my
market
bad.
cap.
You pause
It's
this
just
real quick.
completely insane.
Oh, sorry, not by Ben.
What happened to this guy's voice? Did he start taking
No.
tea?
He sounds the same to me.
Nah, he started taking some tea, bro. He got some HGH in him.
Nah, he's definitely enunciating a lot.
Or maybe
louder and trying to be
he
extra
lost, or
clear.
maybe he was at a fucking concert and lost his voice. His voice sounds different, bro. I don't know why. It's been a while and I heard him. I'll be honest. It's been a while.
He sounds the exact same to me, except he's just overly enunciate. He's like,
Oh,
$1 billion. Like, okay. Got it. But yeah, I was gonna say to what Ben was saying there. What if they start just building these things like as like vanilla PCs? What if they're in laptops? What if they're just like built in there? What if gaming systems start needing these things? Right? Even though I'm sure, obviously, Microsoft and Sony will try to develop their own version to put in their gaming systems.
They got enough money to do it, bro. You know?
And what if it's like, oh, here's your new Philips TV powered by NVIDIA. Like, there is room for where this thing could just keep going and just be there forever. Like like a Coca-Cola brand all of a sudden where it's like, damn, everyone knows NVIDIA besides just computer guys and gamers. Right?
Jordan, you want to know who's the first person I heard speak of this company? It'll be so random to you. Mike Francesa. Because Mike Francesa is like a huge investor.
Yeah, the Bitcoin guys, yeah, they need like
some
powerful
dude
GPUs,
was like, yo, Mike, I guess they had a bad quarter. He's like, yo, Mike, you lost any faith in NVIDIA? He's like, quarter in, quarter out. You'll never lose money on NVIDIA.
That sounds really sus. Just FYI.
You'll never lose.
Okay. So you mean him like actually investing in NVIDIA?
Yeah. He's
Okay.
like year in, year out, you'll make money with NVIDIA. That's what he said.
For some reason, I went right to mentally thinking of like Bitcoin shit, and these guys need they need powerful PCs, right, to process that shit all day and night. I think.
Oh yeah,
right?
because they have to break those cryptographic algorithms.
Yeah.
Nah, Mike's all about $1.
Because that's how they do. Because they have to do that to make sure that the transaction goes through. Is you have to break the code, the cryptographic equation or algorithm, basically.
They probably like 10-pound fans inside of their fucking PCs. Do all this
Mhm.
shit.
My brother tried to do that years and years ago, and I'm like,
Right.
yeah, okay.
It's called mining,
Like,
right? It's just called crypto mining.
the mining,
Yeah.
Bitcoin mining. But a lot of it, no, like they don't even need to do that because it's done through other other ways of giving like proof, right? Because it's like proof of transaction, proof of authority, like proof that there's like a human being making this transaction. So there's like Ethereum and stuff have other ways to do that. So like they don't have to do it the way that they do with Bitcoin. That's more like the old school.
I don't know why I thought of the TV show Beef.
Like analog version.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought of the TV show Beef for when a dude's like, "Yo, listen, I'll sell you cheats in Call of Duty. I can have the unlock camo fucking tool. That's just hilarious to me. Just like hustling, yeah. But all right, here we go.
Apparently, there's a new season, but I haven't seen it.
It's out already. I didn't see it. I didn't hear about that. I feel like I would have heard about that.
It's a different like cast and everything.
You've seen the show The Beast in Me.
Pause.
Why do you always say this? Assesses?
Katie,
like unnecessarily sketchy.
Katie left already, bro.
It's not even pause, bro. It's the name of the show.
Katie left already, so he's the only one that would have seen that show.
My God.
I didn't even think of that. I didn't even think of that.
It's a good show. I was gonna recommend it to you guys.
The Beast in Me.
Yep.
You're not trustworthy when it comes to shows, just so you know.
Hold on, I'm gonna look it up.
It's on Netflix. It's good.
Yeah, that's a red flag.
Netflix
That's a red flag already, bro. That's a red flag already.
Okay, it's only on the first season. Okay, James.
There you go.
You can check it out.
Oh my God. Moving on. Doing a video. Moving on.
I would say.
Oh,
Sammy
sorry.
could reinforce it.
Sorry.
It's a good.
Oh,
show.
Claire Danes.
She's just been sleeping.
Claire Danes is in the show. I'm already in.
I actually heard about this show, Jordan, and I heard it's good. It's like Who Done It, Josh?
I'm in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually heard this is like
Stranger Things.
She's from Homeland. Go ahead.
Pluribus exists. We're talking about the beast inside. Beware the
Yo,
fuck
when's
it's
the
called?
next episode coming out of Pluribus? When's the next
I
episode?
gotta watch the next episode. I forgot about that.
Yo, edit all of this out, bro.
I said I'd watch those too.
Edit all
James
this.
hasn't been in the mood.
Anthony, I'm not editing
Oh,
anything.
James.
It's all just going to be there. It's just going to showcase these
I didn't know you were
knuckleheads.
Edit all this shit out.
I try to make videos, but I'm around knuckleheads.
Oh, you didn't know
all
he
the
was
time.
recording when you recommended The Beast in Me, Josh?
Oh, bro.
Yep.
Why you like?
Pause.
She actually said it like Katie to say.
Yeah.
Because it's just the way that he was like, "Oh, I didn't know you were recording." It's like, okay.
The beast.
I'm okay with me. I consent. Okay.
It's just the way you said it. It was on
Listen,
purpose.
When I become world famous, it's just going to happen more and more. Randoms are going to show up.
The beast.
Tell me about their crazy invention they made. You need to invest in right away. Whatever. It is what it is. All right, let's continue. Here's more Benny Norton talking about how awesome Chinese chips are. Here we go.
If you look rationally at what's actually happening, if you ignore all of the buzz and the mania, it's completely crazy. And this is why we see these absolutely crazy movements in the US stock market, especially looking at NVIDIA's stock. This is why NVIDIA has been breaking records with massive rises and then even bigger falls. So right after NVIDIA announced its earnings report for the third fiscal quarter, in just a few hours, its market cap shot up by $450 billion. And then several hours later, over a period of just one day, its market cap fell by $600 billion. We're talking about such insane amounts of money that it blows your mind. A $600 billion fall in its market cap in one day. This is why the very popular financial newsletter, the Kobeissi letter, referred to this as absolute insanity. It pointed out there was a swing of over $1 trillion of market cap over 54 hours. That is $19 billion per hour in movement. And they correctly pointed out, these are not fundamental price moves. That is to say, this is not sound investment based on the fundamentals of this company. This is sentiment based, which is a nice roundabout way of saying this is crazy speculative mania. This is the behavior of a bubble. And it's very instructive to compare what NVIDIA is saying publicly to what it's saying privately. Because I mentioned earlier that NVIDIA's CEO Jensen Huang publicly criticized the bears who said that there's an AI bubble, and he said, we don't see an AI bubble. But in private, Jensen Huang is actually much more sober about the situation. And we know this because the financial press leaked an audio recording of an internal meeting inside NVIDIA in which the CEO, Jensen Huang, acknowledged that most people have concluded that this is a bubble. And he complained that NVIDIA is in a no-win situation, a lose-lose situation, because people are getting really afraid about what's happening with these crazy movements in the stock market. Huang said, quote, if we delivered a bad quarter, it is evidence there's an AI bubble. If we delivered a great quarter, we are fueling the AI bubble, end quote. And, you know, to be fair to him, he's actually right. And it's not just NVIDIA's fault that there's this massive bubble, but it's in NVIDIA's economic interest to continue inflating that bubble and to pretend like there is no bubble, like nothing's happening, which is very risky, very dangerous. And that's what they're doing to benefit their own bottom line, which is doing damage to the rest of the economy and the world, which is very irresponsible. So again, it's not just NVIDIA's fault that there's this big bubble.
Wait, he's not dick
but
riding.
we
No.
shouldn't pretend like there's some innocent victim in all of this. And if for some reason you're sympathetic to Jensen Huang, when you read about other comments that he made, you should not be sympathetic, because
He would not
in
be
this
sympathetic
audio
to
recording,
the
this
Taiwanese
leaked
guy.
recording of the internal meeting at NVIDIA, Huang
Because
not-
that's not really in the mainland China's interest.
Yeah.
So.
I guess I'm missing some context here.
Oh no, I just mean like he does dick ride China. That's
Are you
just
thinking the Jensen Huang guy is
yeah.
Chinese?
Oh, he's
No,
Taiwanese?
he's Taiwanese American. Yeah. Because he owns Nvidia.
Is that why the United
Yeah.
States invests in Taiwan? I'm tripping, bro. I didn't know any of this.
Mhm. Yeah.
I didn't know.
Your
he was
racism failed you, Anthony. Your racism
What do you mean
failed you.
racism, bro? I don't know
You
what's going
saw
on.
Huang,
He looks
Huang.
Chinese.
You're like, oh, just Chinese. Got it.
Yeah,
Your
motherfucker.
racism failed you, Anthony.
You look
Your
Chinese.
racism failed you.
I'm Korean.
No, actually,
Now he's just getting more ignorant.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
That's
I've been following the
Yeah,
video.
motherfucker. Look Chinese.
Hey, kids,
I've
want to
been
go to
follow-
an island? Sorry.
Yo.
Oh my god, James,
Yeah.
have you seen Sorry.
No way, James saw it.
I don't think it has James, did you click on the thing that Jordan put
I will
down
play it in the
yesterday?
middle of this video. I would do it. It's that funny. But
Huh?
you go first, Ed. You go first, and I'll play that video.
Okay. I've been checking out this NVIDIA stuff for a while because, you know, I'm into computers and stuff, and also he's an Asian American, so I've been following his story. You can see in the chat that I posted a couple links. Jensen Huang has actually liquidated large amounts of stock of his NVIDIA stock on multiple occasions, starting from the summer, and it was actually talked about. So there may be something else going on at NVIDIA that he feels uncomfortable about. But his recent deal with the government to actually supply chips, or was it Intel? I think they're also trying to work together somehow. So I think that deal's still cooking. But I think that Huang himself has shown signs that something weird may be going on over there at NVIDIA. Like it seems he bought back in, but several times he's tried to get out. It makes me nervous. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like he's part of a gang, they won't let him out.
Like he knows.
I don't know, because it's like this is like the oldest tale, you know, like this is funny money, bro. Like what?
Well, I'll tell you here another
for
thing.
sure.
Yeah, it makes a
Well, he
lot
could
of
be part
sense.
of like a gang. Like, you know, what's that gang in Japan with the
Well, okay.
tattoos?
If you think
Yakuza?
about it, though, right?
Yakuza.
Remember
Chinese
the
Yakuza.
greeting cards exactly when we were talking about the Bitcoin.
That
and
might be
stuff.
Japanese. I'm not sure.
It was being used for mining, but the thing is that once they ended the Bitcoin mining, it was expected that nothing could really keep the those chips at high value. So now, right, because because a lot of people once it didn't became paid to make Bitcoin, now they're dumping all their graphics cards. So now his great hope is to change it into AI. But if it's a bubble, he's fucked.
So this guy,
It's a bubble he created though, because he's been investing.
Hell
in
yeah.
it.
he was like the
his team.
monopoly on GPUs, Jordan.
Yeah.
not a monopoly because AMD
Almost.
is up there as well. A lot of gamers
A
use
very
that.
high market share. Let's
But
put it that way.
You'll hear Nvidia probably most of all when it comes to at least gaming GPUs, and then if they're getting all this work with the fucking AI shit, then I'm sure that just raises their fucking name value, right?
So so Ed, what you're saying is he's trying to enter that arena, but there's no guarantee in NVIDIA will be the top dog when it comes to AI.
Well,
Is that what you're
says
saying?
look what he's saying right here, right?
Intel's in the game, other people in the game, right? Any technology can be stolen or adapted, but the thing is that really, remember how much money he was sitting on before, because the thing is that whenever you were because making graphics cards was like printing money, because people would buy those things at highly inflated prices, and you can look at it like if you were trying to get a graphics card, like a high-end graphics card back in the day, even the distributors. I don't know if you guys. I've been a retail store owner, and I've been in the supply chain. I don't know if any of you guys have ever dealt with that, but even distributors were saying that they had to pay like wildly inflated prices. So
and now the market
isn't it also the machines that they use to make them, like the lithography machines, where they're actually putting the grains and the
the
isn't that one of the more costly parts of the operation?
Yeah, it also requires like a lot of other things, like the fabrication.
Oh yeah, you have to be in a completely sterile environment, like completely sterile.
Yeah, it takes a lot of training and investment.
So
it's very
it's a big business on its own, building your own PC or whatever.
So the market corrected itself.
All the parts have to work together with
each other. He's trying to reinvent the company on the
fly. They are working together.
He has so much to lose, right?
I think
he has so much to lose because he was making so much bank. He was actually one of the richest men in the world. But
he still is.
If the Bitcoin,
he'll never be poor.
Remember also that now I don't know if you've been following computers and stuff, but now they make integrated chips. So like the M1 doesn't have any graphics card in it. You know what I'm talking about? The M1, the Apple.
Yeah, the Apple. I have the I just got the one, not the M3, the M4. Got the new.
The integrated chips are very good. They don't really need the high-end graphics cards anymore. They can do the silicon themselves.
Well, a lot of it, it works fine.
Intel's coming out with the graphics.
There has been some glitches that I noticed though, because the M3 was actually a little different. Because I was working with that for a little while, and then I gave it back to work. But
thing with games though, Ed, like it demands more. Every year you want more and more frames for whatever game. Like at least the more famously known gamers. Yeah, you want more frames per second every fucking year, right?
Do you understand the difference between like how like CPUs and GPUs are both processors, right? So how are they essentially different? Do you know?
I would say maybe the amount of demand.
It's the way they access the memory. It's a different way. Like the CPU is more like a high intensity, like can really find like those. It will really drive the calculation fast and hard. But the GPU is better at handling like a lot of data at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why there's glitches with the other one. It's like it lags.
So they can actually, just by redesigning the chips, anyways, right? They can make them more like each other, and they're integrating them now. I mean, so they don't have to rely on what's a GPU? It's something that sits in the PCB slot. They don't have to really follow.
Granted, I have not been using it for a lot of graphic stuff, so I don't know how this computer would hold up compared to the other one. But I think it would be fine.
Yeah,
I think what you're saying is some legacy of his past money trying to keep itself alive and keep its dominant place.
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying? And they have a legacy of printing money that they got to live up to that cannot be maintained. That was too good. That printing money time. I think AI has a lot of promise, but I do think it's a bubble.
Well, he had a smoker, and now the smoker's gone.
I mean, the smoke, he still got smoke. I mean, AI is powerful, right? It's really good. But is it as good as before?
He had a stranglehold. From what you're telling me, he had that shit in the yoke.
Well, how much was it? You know how much they were selling graphic cards before?
He has, right? That we're literally looking at the report about this, right?
You could sell a graphics card.
But you're looking down the line next year. Well, next 6 months, next year. About et
And we're
cetera, et
talking
cetera.
100 to make, and he was selling them for like 2,000, 5,000. It's crazy numbers.
Oh, for graphics cards? Yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard
fucking
figures like
4090s or whatever the fuck they're fucking called.
and that
5090s.
was affecting downstream. Even like PCs were costing more, right?
They were fucking farms. People were buying these graphics cards like crazy. They were filling warehouses with these graphics cards to pump to make Bitcoin.
Oh,
How
yeah.
are they even able to afford that shit though? Because that would be a hell of
Because
amount
it
of
makes money. Because it
electricity.
prints money.
Wait,
Yeah,
so
It done. Is it making as much money? Because there's whole farms that like
I was working with these
corporations
people.
own.
They'll find which areas of the country. You know which state has the cheapest electricity?
Mm, I don't know.
No.
it's got to be Northwest.
Washington State. Washington State. Yeah,
I
you can
knew
look
it. I knew it. It had to be Northwest.
That's where all the tech companies are, right? The thing
makes
is that
sense.
I've also I've also lived on the street, but I've also hung out with like multiple billionaires and shit. Like I do get to be like actually from Taiwan. One of
You're at the Diddy parties, bro? You're at the Diddy parties?
Yo.
Don't lie to me.
Verb.
Don't you lie to me.
It's not like a Diddy party,
Don't you lie
right?
to me.
Nope.
You ain't need no shaboings with Diddy, right?
Yo, I had a chance. I had a chance to book Jay-Z. I told you about that one, but it didn't go. But I ended up going with Boot Camp Click. I'm kind of happy about it now. I told you about that, right? Yeah.
Those folks at Rockefeller.
You see that video where he's about to get smacked by
Avondale.
Big Jazz, right? Like, I was like, nah, man. He was alright, but like he was just came out with Reasonable Doubt. That was an okay album, but it was coming after Nas and all that. Like, it was alright, but
Jordan would disagree with you.
Listen, Hove
Alright,
speaks
man.
languages you don't understand yet. That's why these things happen.
yeah, okay.
It's okay. I don't,
That's all
just like I do. It's okay. One day you'll find out. Anyways,
Okay.
adding to what you were saying, Ed, with the articles you sent me, which will be linked, these two articles. What the fuck? Yeah. These two articles will be linked. Find a paywall. Fuck. Maybe I look up the archive version of this so people don't have to give Bloomberg any fucking money. But I'll link these. I'll link those. Is James back
Yeah,
yet?
they're
He's not
playing a
back
lot
yet.
of financial games at the end there. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
do you see
Before
this?
they made these deals.
Did you see the statement though, where it says we're basically built holding the planet together, and it's not untrue, and that's from the Jensen Wang guy,
Okay.
right? Where he's acknowledging, at least in this, I guess supposedly secret recording, or someone was there that heard him say it or whatever. It's basically implying that he's aware that like, yeah, this could go some weird direction. So you placing those articles where this guy might be like trying to cash out a little bit, right? Or like protect himself kind of. It could be more evidence to showcase that he's aware of where this could go down, right? This could go downhill or whatever. But all right. Let's continue. Here we go.
Audio recording, this leaked recording of the internal meeting at NVIDIA, Huang not so jokingly referenced the memes
Atlas.
that said that NVIDIA is holding up the planet. And this is what he said, quote, "We're basically holding the planet together and it's not untrue," end quote. So he's saying they are holding up the planet. Huang also joked about how NVIDIA's market cap fell by $500 billion, referencing the fact that briefly, due to this speculative mania, NVIDIA's market cap reached a peak of $5 trillion, and then it fell back down to around $4.5 trillion. And he said, quote, "Nobody in history has ever lost $500 billion in a few weeks. You've got to be worth a lot to lose $500 billion in a few weeks," end quote. But the point that I'm trying to emphasize here is we're not just talking about a few weeks. We're talking about a fall in NVIDIA's market cap of $600 billion in one day. This is how absolutely crazy this mania is and how it's actually accelerating. It's picking up steam. Previously, NVIDIA's market cap fell by $500 billion in a few weeks. Now, the speculation and mania are so crazy, it fell by $600 billion in one day. And when you look closer at the data, it makes sense why investors are getting scared about NVIDIA and this bubble. Because I mentioned that NVIDIA had this great earnings report, and the financial press celebrated it for having great earnings, and everything looked like it was great. But then financial analysts pointed out there were some serious issues. First of all, there's the fact that just 4 customers make up 61% of NVIDIA's revenue. Now, those customers were left anonymous. We don't know exactly who they are, but customer A makes up 22% of NVIDIA's revenue, nearly one quarter. Customer B, 15%. Customer C, 13%. And customer D, 11%. Together, 4 customers represent 61% of NVIDIA's
XAI,
revenue in the third quarter
AI,
of the fiscal year
Amazon,
2025 to 2026.
and whatever Meta AI
Again,
is called.
those customers were
It's just
not
called Meta.
named, but we know basically who they are. They are big tech corporations in Silicon Valley, like Meta, like Google or its parent company Alphabet, like OpenAI, like potentially xAI or Tesla, Elon Musk's companies. Or potential other candidates would be Oracle, these hyperscalers, these companies that are building out the big data centers, these enormous AI data centers. These are the companies that are spending
And
billions of
ruining
dollars
artwork
per
too,
quarter,
in news.
tens of billions of dollars per year buying
Boy,
chips from NVIDIA. And if those companies stop buying chips, if they realize they're not going to make any money on AI because they're all losing money, especially OpenAI, as I talked about earlier, and they have to start cutting back their capital expenditure, and they stop buying chips from NVIDIA, what's going to happen to NVIDIA's revenue? It's going to plummet. What's going to happen to NVIDIA's net income, which we popularly call its profits? Its profits are going to fall through the floor. So that was the first red flag of NVIDIA's earnings report, and it was a massive red flag. But there were others that were also discovered by financial analysts. Others pointed out, for instance, that if you look closely at NVIDIA's earnings report, you can see that its accounts receivable has been increasing significantly. What does that mean for people who don't know how to read a balance sheet? This line item refers to sales done by a company to its customers that were paid on credit. So when NVIDIA sells chips to OpenAI, and OpenAI is losing money, they don't have money to actually pay NVIDIA. So what NVIDIA says is, okay, we will sell these chips to you on credit, and in the future, you can pay us. But again, OpenAI doesn't actually have the money to pay NVIDIA, at least right now. So maybe OpenAI will take on more debt. They'll convince investors to give them more money, although more and more investors are actually not convinced and they're becoming skeptical about this, realizing that OpenAI probably will never be able to pay off all of its existing obligations, yet alone new ones. So as the accounts receivable line item on NVIDIA's balance sheet continues to grow more and more, a lot of people are asking questions saying, wait a second, do NVIDIA's customers actually have the money to pay NVIDIA for the chips that they're buying on credit? This is another significant red flag. And then a third red flag that financial analysts pointed out was another line item on NVIDIA's earning report, which was the inventories, which refers to all of the products that NVIDIA has that it actually has not yet sold. So we're constantly told that there's so much demand for NVIDIA's chips, and companies are just going to buy more and more GPUs to build AI data centers and develop AI. And yet, NVIDIA's inventory is skyrocketing. It's now $20 billion as of the third quarter of fiscal year 2025 to 2026. So this raises another question. If there truly is insatiable demand for NVIDIA's chips coming from these AI companies, why do the inventories keep rising so much? Especially in 2025, the inventories have tripled in 1 year. All of this very important information explains why NVIDIA stock has been so volatile, why there have been these crazy swings. Because again, on the 19th of November, NVIDIA published its earnings report and said, we're the greatest company ever, there's no bubble, look how great we are. And investors celebrated, and immediately its market cap went up by $450 billion in a few hours. But then the next day, as financial analysts, as bears and skeptics pointed out some of these very important red flags, then suddenly investors got really scared and started selling off NVIDIA stock, and the market cap fell by $600 billion in
Billion. I think in 5 hours, right?
1 day.
In 1 day.
And
But yeah, like, is it gonna turn, like, once again, I know nothing about this shit, bro, to be honest with you. But is it gonna be that thing where it is like Remember they like forcibly put like U2 on your fucking phones or music devices or wherever the fuck, right? Like, oh, when you purchase this, you get, U2's album
New song.
pre-downloaded onto your fucking, onto your iPod or your phone or whatever the fuck.
Are you saying that about GPUs?
I'm saying about like maybe Nvidia, where it's like, here's brand new TV, powered by Nvidia, right? It's like, all right, we manufactured all these things, but where do we put them? Will we actually spend more money just to build our own, like, or invest in a company to do like a co-project to build a TV or a computer together and say powered by this, right?
Yeah, that's not gonna fix our problem.
I don't think. I'm just saying, like, does it end up that way? Because if what Ben Norton's saying is right, and they're just fucking stockpiling shit, and because maybe they reached the limit of sales, or they
The
sold
demand
enough,
is gone. Yeah.
or demand is gone.
No. He's making it sound like that because he's saying the inventory is going up, but there's not. It's not that there's not demand or that there's not money to invest in.
At the price, maybe the price then.
Or maybe it's not time yet. Maybe they have them pre-made,
Yeah, it can be timing.
and then someone will purchase these things later, right? But they're just stockpiling them because they know, or they're aware, or they believe that someone will start buying these in large demand. Thus, let's make them now.
Well, they already have the orders for them, right? Like,
or that, yes, there you go. Yeah,
they have the orders. I mean, maybe they don't have the financing yet, or whatever. They might be raising money for it, but yeah, that's part of the problem. Like they're buying this on debt, and they, I mean, the numbers are kind of crazy on how much they're paying for it. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know exactly. I didn't know that was inventory,
but the
it's
shit
not,
that
it's not garbage that they're selling.
What Ed said is like really interesting, where it's like he's saying companies are now trying to build systems that kind of circumvent this GPU.
They are.
They've been
doing it for a long
ask
time.
Something else, right?
It's not Intel. They're a different business.
Has anybody in this room
like,
bought anything with AI or bought any AI services?
No.
Like what?
Me no.
Me either. Unless I did and didn't know.
Well, there's AI attached to certain things. Like Google's attached to an AI, even when you just Google something, right?
Yeah.
But that's not a purchase. But what do you mean by like purchasing something for AI? Like, what does that mean exactly?
I've thought about there's some AIs that'll like make your website. There's some AIs that will make your.
Oh, okay.
You can buy those things. They're also
things.
some programming tasks. And I was thinking about getting AI for that. You can buy like tickets or something like that. But the thing is that when we look at like Netflix blowing up, right? Like if you got in on that early, like that would have been a good time with the stock. So the thing is that the AI, the problem is monetizing it because there's a lot of competition right now, and people are using the AI a lot, right? You hear about these college kids doing their papers with it and stuff. There are people using AI, and it's ready to blow. But will it be? Why would nvidia have any specific advantage? Are they making AI processing units?
Processing power is, I think, the whole sales pitch here, right?
Is AI hardware or is it software?
Hardware.
Yeah, but you need
no.
You need hardware to you need hardware to handle such processing, right?
So why does okay?
And typically GPUs are stronger than CPUs as far as what they demand, right? Like
for certain types
GPUs
of tasks.
have like almost fans just dedicated just to them alone, almost, right?
They're both strong in their own separate way, and they're good for different things. That's why the integrated chips are doing well, right? That's what the M1 is. It's an integrated chip. It can say, for this specific task, I'm going to use this processor. For that specific task, I'm going to use that processor, and it's more efficient.
It's a jack of all trades, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, it's the whole industry is moving in this direction. You know what I mean? It's just better.
Yeah.
They also have these things called chiplets and shit now. They can also break it up and do like they're already doing things like they're when you have like a chip, it's already they put two chips on one chip, right? Already. They're already integrating those. You know what I'm talking about?
I can imagine.
That's not where the demand is coming from, though. Like when they're making these data centers,
Sure, there's storage, but the idea is the compute of how much they can crunch through this, right?
Well,
And
they
if you
can
talk
also
about
collect
it,
data about us, right? Yeah, compute too. Yeah, compute and collect data about us and process it.
that's what Nvidia sells. Like they're not
Yeah.
selling AI. Well, yeah, their product is
Hardware.
parallel compute, like the
Yeah.
GPUs, and they're very different from CPUs. So like so they have so it's a different product, and there are people that try to um because they can sell it so inflated. It's not like, well, this is what it costs us to make it, and that's why it's cost that much. No, their price keeps going, like their margin gets bigger and bigger
But the
because of the
people who are
demand.
buying it are not making the chips themselves. I think even Motorola is coming out with a there's a lot of like old manufacturers who's coming back now and building laptops and shit and making their own chip.
But they don't make what Nvidia makes. That's the thing. The GPUs, um,
They
the
have some
reason, like he's
the
been
industry
doing it for like
there's no
30 years, right? It's very specialized, and and what he builds, like basically the industry, like it grew on like what for what he does. That does. You were right about the Bitcoin. It's perfect for that. Yes, gaming, but gaming is only like up to the scale of how many gamers, right? When they put them in data centers, they're trying to feed. They're saying AI is a use case, but they're trying to do all of this compute for users, right? Like for people who want to keep using AI for everything. So that's crunching making the models and doing the inference. So the reason they can't just make that um, is that he also has like I'll just simplify it by saying like patents. Like they designed like an interface to how to talk to this thing, right? And you can't just copy it, right? So you'd have to like remake it yourself, but it's
well, he's
So
trying
extremely
to
that's
sell,
what
I
complicated.
think he's trying to sell a new arms race, right? Because before everybody wants to have more nukes and more powerful nukes, and now they have to have more and more powerful tech, and they just keep having to buy more and more and more.
So like he's like it's so the margin is so big, it's worth it for competitors to go into it, but it'll take them at least like a decade or so, and people have started, um, but it'll take them at least a decade to try to make like
so
an alternative.
so Jesse, so you're saying, but so then how do you relate what you just said to the fluctuations in the stock price? Is it just a blip, in your opinion?
No, the fluctuations are because
Popping its levels,
so
probably.
Sentiment.
yeah, it is a bubble, and the problem is not the product that they're selling. The product they're selling is fine, and it isn't. He could sell it for higher, so he will sell it for higher. That's what he's doing. So that like people like investors like the revenue growth, and then there is demand. People want to buy it, so there's when there's more demand, like all of that part is real. Where it starts to become fantasy is uh the fact that they're buying each other, right? So when they start to own each other, that circular thing, that's the fantasy part. So it does overinflate what you know it is, but there's a real business and real value there. But the other problem is that like people are when you price something so high, it's because you think it's going to be that much more in the future. Now, AI as an industry, has a trajectory that would be like that. Like it'll just keep growing exponentially, right? Because things will get cheaper. There'll be more, like there'll just be different technology, so it's going to grow.
More
But
competition.
chip selling, like you can only buy so much of that, right? Like okay, you make 100 warehouses, 1,000, 10,000 warehouse or data centers. uh, the faster you're growing, like this exponential growth, like it's an actual physical thing, right? Like let's say you're buying houses, you're buying anything. You could buy paper. If you're buying it exponentially, like you can't build a business model off of that, like and think that it's just going to continue. Like any exponential growth,
is not going to continue. Like that's just
So
math.
so the
So
market is correcting the price. That's what you're saying.
yeah, at some point, like the market
But
gets
the
saturated, right? Like
Yeah.
people buy what
Okay.
they can buy, and then they're like, all right, they can't
yeah,
buy anymore.
the
So
hardware would
so
be like
over
they run
time,
out of room.
it was being built up artificially to like beyond what it's worth, and now it's starting to reach the median. Median, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they're buying things like basically from like they're making like 10-year contracts, right? Like okay, we're gonna buy $500 billion of chips, right? Like they're making these kinds of purchases, and they're like, okay, great, this sounds great, but like you're eating into the future, right? And you keep doing that for the current year. And
Mm.
you can only do that so many times where you're like, all right, well,
Hardware
I mean, if
wise,
you
yeah.
order $500 billion, what are you gonna order next year, right? And what are you gonna order the year after that? Like, are you gonna keep doing
At
that?
some
Mm.
point, everyone's gonna have a PlayStation. Thus, you don't need to keep
Yeah.
making
Yeah,
PlayStations.
So
yeah, right,
okay.
exactly.
Some will
So five
break,
years
some will, but
ago,
it's not going to cover the amount of
yeah.
people that were already buying PlayStation. But I
So
get you.
And then
hypothetically, 5 years ago, the price was worth it as far as buying into the stock because the future was high. But now the future is like meh. It's not that it's they're not going out of business. They're not even
and
necessarily
Whoa.
faltering.
Would you?
It's just
they're not faltering,
Yeah.
there's nowhere to scale from. There's nowhere to scale to from here. Is that what you're saying?
right?
But wouldn't you
Because
expect a slow
investors are
decline?
pricing in that growth. Like they're pricing in, like they're already
Yeah.
paying for it. Like if it's 10 times, or actually like maybe thousands of times bigger than
Yeah.
where it
So would
is.
it be accurate, Jesse, to say that? Well, it's a twofold question. They like the sentiment for why they grew was more about the position they were in, not the company itself. To an extent, obviously they did have
Yeah.
ingenuity placed it and built into that position. But now they're trying to step into other arenas and they're trying to bring their name into those arenas and make it seem as because we are doing this, we're going to continue to be the number one in whatever field we attempt to go into. Yet people,
Right.
maybe bears or reality, is saying you're just another player in the sandlot. You're not necessarily
Well,
differentiating yourself from the competitors already here when it comes to AI, etc. Taking it, not talking about the chips, but not talking. They're trying to expand into other horizons. Not saying they
they're
weren't
practically
already, but
What if there's
now it's
they're
prepaid
like
more of a
contracts?
focal point because of what you said. It's more of a focal point now because that's where growth can potentially come from now. Not the hardware.
well, who's like the growth the customers those 7 customers like so the problem there is how much can they borrow like and so I'm not saying that any one of those in particular will falter, but they just keep um, making bigger and bigger bets. And so as they keep making bigger and bigger bets, every like crazy bigger, right? And the casino's not saying no. They keep giving them more rope. So either they end up, winning really big, or at some
Mm.
point the casino will just kick them out, right? They're
Are
gonna
you
be like,
talking? And you're
yeah,
talking about in that scenario. You're talking about Nvidia is the casino, right? Because they're the loan. They're the debt. They're giving the debts, right? Is that what you're saying?
they're giving them a little bit. Investors are buying uh, on the AI company, so Nvidia's selling hardware, but the big buyers are now for the data centers and people who are creating AI or doing it at the most massive scales. So when they do that, like currently, AI does provide a whole lot of value, but they're like when people look at it, it's like it's all pretty much being given away practically for free, right? Like they're all losing money on that, and the idea is that long term they get enough customers, they get enough things that the idea is that they all want to win also
Dude,
at
this
the final
sounds.
game.
What you
You know,
just
they
described sounds so much like these streaming companies.
yeah, like stream. It's a similar model. It's
It
just
sounds so
they
similar,
scaled.
just from like being in, like listening to these sports guys talk about, like these
Yeah.
sports economist guys talk about how like all these companies fail at streaming, but like because they're trying to catch the Netflix model, but it's really just Netflix was first. That's really their biggest thing, is that they were first in that market. They opened the market basically
You
of
know, I'm gonna
stream.
be
Yeah,
I'm gonna be
it,
using AI soon to I'm gonna be buying AI services to make my website and to also to help. There's also is being involved in like some of my video editing as well. There's some different features that got added, but there's I'm also gonna be using it to try to make some apps for the phone. See, I'm gonna be using AI for that as well. So I'm gonna be a customer. I think there's gonna be. I think they probably are making money in some places. Yeah, most consumers are not yet, but
They're
I
making a
think
lot of money
I think
with
this will expand
contracts.
Yeah,
quickly.
but they're not. But it's the
it's some,
thing, Ed. The thing is, how are they gonna make the money they made when the GPU fucking shit was like booming? The GPU boom.
No, yeah, I think Nvidia's got problems. I don't think Nvidia's is as strong as they're a leader in the field, but they could be displaced. Someone else could make a breakthrough. Like, there's nothing that really
Yeah.
assures that
That's
they're gonna
gonna
be the
take.
king.
That's gonna take a decade
Or
though.
or behind closed
I think it's the other way
doors,
around.
behind closed doors, they do the opposite. They fucking almost
Another
like gaming, where it's like we do
another reason
slow
why I think it's
upgrades
struggling with
every so often, right? To where
you
you have
guys
to,
bring up a good point, right? The thing is that with the Trump struggles lately and stuff like that, remember that crypto bounced back after Trump got into office and started pumping all these
It's still
meme
going up.
stuff. Oh, okay,
yeah.
so exactly. But the thing is that the whole tech, the doubts about the tech friendliness, because I think Nvidia made a big deal with the government, didn't they? About people
Yeah.
might be worried about that deal might be in danger, and that their contract might not be able to be fulfilled or something. What do you think? If Trump is
But
too weak, you might be able to take apart his plans.
I thought Trump was doing good on
These
that though.
contracts. Was that
I thought Trump was doing good on with the big tech though.
Yeah.
with the big tech? But like, does it seem like he's going to stay in power? It seems like they're going to lose the midterms, and after that, right?
The big
Trump's
tech is
out
on
of here.
both.
Dude,
To play both
yeah,
sides.
dude. But what the Democrat? You think the Democrats aren't gonna fucking bite on that?
Yeah.
They're not sure that Nvidia is still going to be the winner after that, right? They might
Well,
decide
that's a
to go with
different.
another
Yeah,
company.
that's a different
Might go
argument.
with Intel,
It,
yeah.
I'm
So
just
it
saying,
is.
whoever,
that might be
who, yeah. Either way,
why falling.
I think big tech's in good hands. Either way,
So,
if
so
anything, Trump not disavowed, but he I guess like he disproved that somehow the conservatives are anti-tech by what he did.
Oh, they don't. It's all about the money.
you have to separate
All about beating
when you think about a
China.
stock. Same thing when they talk about the stock market, right? Like when they say on one day the stock market goes up so much, or another
Yeah,
day it crashes. Like
yeah,
nothing changed in the company the day
no.
before, the day after, unless there was some news, like maybe the CEO got fired, or like
He
something
got
like
caught.
that.
Yeah, CEO got caught with his girlfriend at a concert.
Yeah, unless there was
Something
something. Well,
like that.
actually, if it's that, that's actually an example of where it like maybe it
At least something
doesn't
would
really
happen.
change. Like
So,
it doesn't, because that's not an impact
No.
unless people get upset about like the
Yeah.
situation. It's often not an impact on like their business, like their sales, right?
Yeah.
So so Nvidia's they're selling, the product is good. what what is the what's at risk is the uh, valuation of the company. Now, the valuation of the company doesn't, when it goes up, it doesn't change the company in any way. When it goes down, it doesn't change the company. That's just a value to the investors. So, the investors in that, when bubble pops, they're going to be impacted. But the
But not the
company
company. Yeah.
is not, like, they're still selling. They're not gonna. They don't even have to lay off people. Like it's really not a.
The company
Unless they
is not a
overreach.
bank. The company's not a bank giving like mortgage loans. The company is selling a good that's still in high demand and will be for the foreseeable future.
But if they
Right.
want to extra
Regardless of
produce,
limit and
right? If they want to extra produce and a competitor comes out, they would have to actually downsize, wouldn't they? If they're making, if it's, NVIDIA with a contract with OpenAI, let's say that, and they're doing whatever they do, right? But some other, open source style out of nowhere, Sam Altman Jr. comes out of nowhere and does a contract with AMD, then you have a competition there, and thus you could be over doing your production because there's a real competitor that's taking some of the sales, right? Is that a possible thing, or am I tripping? You have to
I think
downsize,
I think
right?
it's possible in the longer term when they can build something that can catch up. It can't happen within a few years, but it is possible. Like it makes sense. The more money they make, the more competitors want to get into the market.
Yeah.
Like so it's yes.
I just looked something up. I just looked up Nvidia's like the employee numbers, and apparently they just have an increase in about
They're
20%
small.
of their total employees. So, in
Yeah,
the
they're
last
small. How many employees does it say? Like for
36,000 right now.
okay, yeah. So 36,000 over whatever trillion he was talking about.
They are one of the smaller companies for us in terms of like the amount of. You're right about that. Yeah, I did know about that. That's why I started looking it up. But
Their value per.
they're
And
adding.
most of those employees have been there for like a long time, like over a decade, 2 decades. Like they're just
There's certain signs that
Gamers.
that a company's having problems are going to go under, right? And for example, right, you could see like when card games, like because I had a card shop, when a card game's going to go under, they re-release all the hot cards to make that last flush of money before they close the game out, right? So the thing is that we could see that with Nvidia. Um, did you know about like the conflicts that they had with different famous YouTubers regarding trying to manipulate reviews of their products?
I have not heard of that.
No. So I thought those were signs that they were on the ropes, or also Jensen dumping the stock several times. That he dumped over almost $1 billion in stock from his own personal fund. That's a clear sign that he doesn't he's thinking about exiting, right? Or he feels like it's overvalued. But the fact that they're hiring a 20% increase in employees is significant. Usually, if a company's on its way out or expecting to have problems, they're not going to hire so many people. It makes me rethink. I really felt like they were on the way out, but seeing that the fact that they increasing their
NVIDIA?
workforce 20%,
No
it might be just on
they're not
paper.
on the
Who knows?
No
wait,
chance. I'm
wait
sorry.
out. You,
They
you
might be
have to
fake
think
jobs
about it
to
more
make them
like
happy. Go ahead.
like Amazon, right? So Amazon has like in their headquarters they have tech, right? But they also have retail, right? Or which are
Yeah,
basically warehouses. So they have
yeah.
warehouses full of people, and so there's two different aspects of it. So people are designing, creating, making newest chips, but they're also going to need to like actually manufacture. Like so, you're going to increase the number of like
What the fuck is
maybe
Amazon manufacturing? You said Amazon's manufacturing? Like what?
no.
The
They have
companies that are
warehouses
that are
for.
posting on Amazon, like, hey, here's a
Y-
NVIDIA
No, they're
There are
shipping.
GeForce,
Amazon
whatever.
brands.
they're
No,
shipping, dude. They're
I'm
UPS.
saying
I know.
I'm
I'm just saying,
equating
like,
their shipping to the manufacturing, like where there's a certain amount of employees that you will scale. It's a different kind of scaling, right? So you're scaling tech, or you're scaling like, hey, we need more workers to like build these things, right? Those like fluctuate a lot by seasonality, by like
yeah,
the timing. Uh, when there's the demand
you ready for
to
Christmas
produce,
season
you don't
versus
need another engineer to design a chip. You need people building chips, right? So there's different.
or
There's two
three or
different
3D
aspects where
printers.
yeah. So Amazon has over like I don't know how many, like, but more than 1 million employees. Most of them are in the warehouses, right? Like that's the way. Um, so there's
Yeah,
two different
but
aspects
they're
of of
they're the
of employee
distributors.
count.
They're distributors, right? They're not manufacturing anything. They're distributing.
Not manufacturing, but I mean it's like I would call that like production, right? Like
Sure.
they're distributing, but it's production work. Like okay, when there's more volume, we need more to support this because operations.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that scales differently because like sometimes you need a lot of that, and you could increase that count like very quickly sometimes, like they do for the Black Friday sales. They'll hire like each warehouse will hire thousands of people just for that that season.
Yeah, but there's Amazon. That's a rough example with Amazon because they have so many fucking products they're moving. Not just moving,
Well,
GPUs. They're also moving like coolant systems for fucking CPUs, right? Or SD
what I'm
cards or whatever.
equating to that is that there's the aspect of the research design and things that would it's a slower thing. Like when they're innovating on chips, it's not something instant, right? Like that
Yeah.
type of thing should not fluctuate up and down in employee count like crazy. Like you might invest more, but it doesn't go there and then like okay, now we have to lay off all these people. Like that doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah.
But on production, that is very related to how much sales are going on in operations to support that. So in that sense, you can those numbers are going to move up and down a lot more easily. But if a
Okay.
tech company's laying off a bunch of people, that's somewhat different. Or if they laid off, like it's a different type of um it's different when you're doing on production versus like if you're doing on your own long-term investment. Like that has a different meaning, right? Like
Yeah.
are you like scaling back what you want to build for your future? Then you're like then it's shaky.
Okay. I think I get that.
Yeah, so that's why you can't just go by employee count alone. If you're a pure tech company, then employee count alone makes sense. But if you have like a large portion that is dedicated to production work, then the employee count is kind of a blended number. It's harder to decipher that. Like,
And they could make this once again. This is me having a conspiracy theory about this. It could be even true on paper. I just haven't looked at it ever. Like when I look at, I keep bringing it back to gaming because that's what I'm more familiar with. Like the idea of like when you see like okay, here's PS5, here's Xbox Series X. All of a sudden, these guys are putting GPUs like kind of like more dedicated GPUs into their systems now, right? Like actual graphics cards, right? Versus like their own generic PlayStation or Xbox, graphics cards. To where it's like almost like they're developing at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Versus like I'm pushing the envelope. I'm trying to go all the way to the best possible thing to where we just drown out the competition. We're just going to work together. And that's what I was bringing up in regards to, let's say, NVIDIA and OpenAI work together and they go, instead of going with all out up front, they go with, well, here's NVIDIA GPU 1.0 and here's OpenAI working with NVIDIA's like hardware 1.0. And then they go to 1.1 and 1.2. And then all of a sudden, boom, here's 2.0 or 2.1. To where it's like they're kind of scaling together, but they also do this with the other companies. Maybe it's like AMD and whoever XAI going with here's our 1.0, right, and here's our 1.0, like almost like they're like
yeah.
let's go slow together so that we can like take as much money as we possibly can instead of building the best product up front. I'm just saying as like a in the back of my
Well,
mind conspiratorial wise, but yeah, go ahead.
maybe along the I don't know if it'd be conspiratorial, but like maybe some plotting or strategy, right? Like you mentioned competition, right? And what if
I mean,
they're paying
that's gonna
such
happen,
inflated
right?
prices for chips? Like one of these big companies that are spending like so much, they could like put that money to invest in maybe a company that's entering into their competitors, right? I mean, like, well, let's just help them make it because it's so inflated these prices, right?
Yeah, well,
But
people consider AMD like on the level of Nvidia when it comes to, once again, just in the gaming
okay,
world, right? But
yeah.
good.
So let's say that's the situation, right? Well, then it kind of makes sense why he's investing in buying portions of those companies, because now like then Nvidia's part owner with them, so they actually have like a voting share on like like part of what they're deciding to do. They become more partners than just like, okay, this guy's just selling me stuff. Oh well,
Yeah,
he's selling me stuff and he's a part owner of the company, like
yeah,
part.
that's what I
So
meant
so
by
like that influences.
your TV powered by Nvidia or maybe powered by OpenAI, but they're using Nvidia chips to power it on your TV, your super smart TV or whatever, right? Almost like once again like an iPhone pre-programmed with U2's album on it. Like I feel like I can see that as a possibility. Not that I
Eh,
know for sure, but
Yeah.
like where it's like
Well,
if you see Nvidia, you're gonna see OpenAI software on it. If you see
it's
OpenAI, you're
very
gonna see
similar to like
Nvidia hardware. Yeah, got sorry.
Chi- China. Like so, there's this relationship with China, right? Where we can buy so much from them, and we're a nation that's always very much in debt, but they they buy a lot of that debt and they fund a lot of that debt, right? And
Almost like it's
it
gonna
helps
work out
kind of the
someday
whole thing go, it continue, and
yeah.
so uh
Because it is
but
working out
it's just,
somewhere,
yeah, it's
right?
interesting.
Because it is working out somewhere, or it's gonna work out somewhere.
Yeah,
Thus, you buy that debt, right? Because
yeah, it helps things continue.
if there's no idea of them paying you back at any fashion, or maybe just maintaining the debt but making payments in some form or fashion, whatever it is, uh, without that promise there, you're not doing that, right? You're not going to buy anyone's debt if they have no chance of paying you back or maintaining payments over periods of time while maintaining the same amount of debt, or maybe even lessening it, or whatever the fuck, right? If there's some sort of promise of you're going to get something out of this, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
I would assume
well,
so, right? I would assume so.
either they're gonna make there's a couple of strategy plays there. Either they're gonna like help make sure that they win, or if you're Nvidia, you invest in all of the big ones, and at least one of them will be the winner. And so like if they're investing in all of the top players,
Yeah,
then they win. It's
yeah. Well, yes. If they just
like
go
somebody
with
can
all the
lose.
software that needs
Yeah,
computing power or whatever the fuck, yeah.
yeah.
But
One of the
what stop
companies
anyone else
could
from doing
could go
that?
down, and it's like, okay, well, the other one won. Like a venture capitalist does, right? Like they make several bets, and at least one has to make money for all of them.
Shit. It's like NFL and Madden. Even though our games suck, we're the only the only guys in town, so thus we win no matter what. Even if our product is dog shit, doesn't matter. We still win.
It's almost like parlaying, but like the long odds, big returns. And
All right, let's finish out this Ben Norton video. We've been here long enough on this shit. Here we go.
At the same time, investors started selling off other stocks, especially big tech stocks, and the market cap of the S&P 500 fell by $2 trillion in 5 hours as the fear began to spread across the market. We saw Oracle's stock fell by 44% from the record high. Palantir stock fell by 30%, Meta's by 27%, AMD's 27%, Tesla's 22%. Now, yes, it is true that some people bought the dip and the S&P did recover after falling a bit, but still, this was the most significant reversal in the US stock market since Trump's so-called Liberation Day in April, when he announced tariffs on countries all around the world, which also caused a bunch of fear and a crazy sell-off in the US stock market. What all of this demonstrates is how the US economy is built on this crazy financial house of cards in the stock market, the biggest bubble ever. And in just a few hours, investors can get really scared and sell off trillions of dollars worth of stocks. And then the next day, suddenly everything will recover and it will be as if nothing happened. This is not how you should actually be running your economy. The crazy financialized casino of the US economy is extremely dangerous. This is why even mainstream financial media outlets like Fortune magazine are warning publicly, loudly, the stock market is barreling toward a show me the money moment for AI and a possible global crash. And that's what's so frustrating about all of this, because, sometimes it's fun to make fun of these rich investors and these oligarchs who are so out of touch with reality. And they think that in a few months we'll have AGI and we'll all live in this crazy utopia. Not mentioning, of course, that they will own all of the AI technology. It's their intellectual property. And so many people will lose their jobs and be unemployed and be in poverty. And they won't actually have any money to buy the goods and services of these big tech oligarchs. They don't mention that part. That's an issue for another day. But again, the point is that so much in not just the US economy, but the global economy, which has been deeply financialized in the neoliberal era with the deregulation of financial markets and capital markets in the 1980s and 90s, not only in the US, but in many countries around the world. With this financialization, so much of the global economy depends on these massive bubbles continuing to be inflated in the US stock market, in crypto, in the US real estate market, in private credit and private equity. These bubbles are all unsustainable and they're very dangerous. And when they pop, as every bubble does, it will be catastrophic. But I do have to add, with all of that said, that the bubble can continue to inflate. Oftentimes, bubbles continue to get crazier and crazier, even though everyone knows there's a bubble. This is certainly what happened with the dot-com bubble that popped back in 2000. And this goes back not just decades, but centuries. And the renowned economist John Maynard Keynes, one of the most important economists in world history, he famously quipped that markets can remain irrational longer than you can remain solvent. So no one really knows when the AI bubble will pop. But again, I say with certainty that all bubbles in history have eventually popped at some moment, and this bubble will pop as well. But what I'm really concerned about is that when that bubble pops, it could cause a serious recession or even a full-on depression. Just like how there was nonstop propaganda in the media in the 1920s in the United States claiming that it was the golden age, the stock market was booming, everyone would get rich, even though the vast majority of people did not actually own stocks. But they said the party will never end. This is the era of the Great Gatsby. Number can only go up, line always go up. And then what happened? In 1929, the bubble burst. It contributed significantly to the Great Depression in the 1930s that led to the disaster of World War II. And we all know the horrors people suffered in the 1930s and 40s. So that's why I'm so concerned about the AI bubble and the enormous stock market bubble in the US, which is the largest bubble in the history of the US stock market. And this is why we here at Geopolitical Economy Report will always analyze these important issues to help.
What?
Does he have a lot of investments, maybe? Is that why he's worried?
I'm not sure, honestly. Economics, I'm a fucking
But
bot.
if you don't have investments, like, I don't know. Like he made the case that this is a bubble, but he didn't make the case on how it directly affects everybody.
Okay. Your audio is a little bit wonky, but I heard that. I don't know. I really don't.
Well, I would imagine that he's probably thinking about people's pensions and 401ks, like their portfolios or whatever, people who worked for a long time, who probably have invested in things like that.
The thing you sacrifice
depends.
first. Regular people. They're anonymous.
Yeah.
Sacrifice them. Yeah. We all win. All right.
Help you all understand what's going on
Just last
today in
words.
geopolitics and the economy and how it affects your life. On that note, I'm going to conclude.
All right, there's Ben Noren with that. pretty interesting. Once again, economics is not my thing at all. I kind of hate the way human beings probably do everything, but money in particular is like a wild one. There's plenty of people that kill, lie, cheat to get this thing we call money, and it's very unfortunate. But this is the world we live in, and we're dumb as rocks apparently. But all right, I'm gonna leave it there. There's your video. Please subscribe if you feel like. Comment, agree, disagree. Tell me what you think in the comment section about anything. Once again, I'm not the biggest economic guy, but I'm sure if you ask questions in the comments, I can ask one of these people here that know more than I do. Do my best with that, I guess. Don't forget to share, support, hopefully donate to all the links in the description box. Also join the Discord if you feel like. That will be linked too. We are in that Discord right now, and all opinions are welcome. Also, everything I showed you will be linked in the same description box for you to look at on your own. That I think it was The Economist. No, Bloomberg.
I just want to say that
Bloomberg.
not all opinions are welcome because I feel like sometimes my opinions have been ridiculed and patronized in this space.
You do see the paradox there, right? If you say something like really stupid and dumb and low IQ, that someone can respond
Well, I've
to
never
it.
said anything like that. So,
But someone can respond to that, so thus their opinion's allowed as well. You know what I'm saying?
no, there's been a lot of hostility. So I just want to say that sometimes people like me have not felt welcome. So just putting it out there.
All right, fair warning. If you're a pussy, you're a pussy. You can run away, but I'm just telling you right now, all opinions are welcome.
It's not what I said.
And if your opinion is dog shit, it gets shit on. Like, it is what it is. Like, you got dumped on. It is what it is. But,
Also, not what I said. Do not mischaracterize my words. Thank you.
Anyways, please join the Discord if you feel like. And everything I showed you will be linked in that same description box. And with all that said, give this video a thumbs down.